putting Britain's Cold War air defences to the test.
The missiles are ready to go.
The radar locks on an enemy aircraft.
Got free to fire now. You press the firing button. You'll hear the boost blast as it flies overhead. There you go. Next thing you'll see is the warhead going off. That's the target disappearing. And you killed it.
Wow. This Royal Air Force veteran talks through the simulated missile strike. The Bloodhound system is a museum piece now.
You can see it's got Rolls-Royce engines.
But these weapons once gave the UK world-beating air defences.
What sort of message was that sending to the Soviet Union?
Don't come knocking.
When the Cold War ended, though, so too did Britain's cast iron air defences, like the Bloodhound and this old operations room, frozen in time at the Air Defence Museum in Norwich. But with new threats on the horizon, veterans say the UK is looking vulnerable.
If hundreds and hundreds of drones and cruise missiles were to come in, I don't think we could safely take out all of them.
And how does that make you feel?
I don't think about it. I really don't. I'm glad I did my time back then and not now.
With a growing need to rebuild the UK's air defences, we've mapped out some of our most critical sites. Let's start with the national government in London and the 3 regional administrations. Then there's the UK's spy agencies and military intelligence. So far, so manageable. But what if you add Army, Navy and Air Force bases? Then throw in ports. What about airports? There's also train stations, and not forgetting power stations, even wind farms. The infrastructure that needs protecting is vast, and this is only a snapshot. Contrast the scale of the challenge with what the UK actually has to defend its skies. The RAF is equipped with a mere 9 frontline fighter squadrons. That compares with 30 towards the end of the Cold War. As for the Royal Navy, it has 6 Type 45 destroyers capable of shooting down ballistic missiles. But only 3 of these warships are currently operational, including one that's in the Middle East. While on land, the UK has around 6 ground-based air defence systems called Sky Sabre that can take out jets and missiles. But at least 2 of these weapons, probably more, are also deployed overseas. Fixing the gaps will mean a huge new investment to cover this whole area, but failing to act would be even more costly if the UK were to find itself at war. Russia's assaults on Ukraine and Iran's barrage against Israel have illustrated the importance of air defence, prompting calls for a British version of the Israeli Iron Dome. But that system is designed to destroy short-range rockets, not the more realistic threat to this country of long-range missiles.
It's very easy to us to go down the route, as some politicians have made, about buying Iron Dome off the Israelis. I think that would be the wrong decision. We need to have our air defence needs based on our own geographic situation, threat we face, before we go off down the road of buying whatever it is.
Britain's shores were targeted from the air during World War I. What was then a novel threat inspired the creation of the world's first operational radar station on the Suffolk coast.
The only mast here now is this radio one used by the Coast Guard. But as the Second World War was looming, 4 giant towers were constructed here as part of a new system of radars, each one 360 feet high, able to detect an aircraft up to 100 miles away.
Now a museum, Bawdsey radar played a pivotal role in winning the Battle of Britain by identifying incoming threats.
So they're the bullet holes?
Yes, the building was attacked by a fighter during the Second World War, but the wall is 18 inches thick, so it had little effect.
Graham helps run the museum and has a message for today's leaders.
My advice would be learn from the past and be prepared.
And do you think we're prepared at the moment?
I suspect we could do a lot more preparation than we are doing.
Being ready for the worst defined the Cold War era. A forgotten frame of mind that's now sharply back in focus. Deborah Haynes, Sky News.